The Rise and Fall of Kodak, a tale of triumph and tragedy that led to suicide. The tragic and heroic history of Kodak, a tale of victory and tragedy intertwined with the relentless advance of technology, is one of the most compelling and enlightening in the history of corporate legends. Starting out as a pioneer in the photography industry, Kodak went on to achieve unprecedented success and revolutionize how people across the globe took pictures. However, with the arrival of the digital age came a deluge of change, and Kodak was left to fend for itself in the face of the new normal. As a sobering illustration of the relentless character of invention and the merciless velocity of contemporary trade, the once invincible behemoth struggled, faltered, and then collapsed. An important lesson about the value of planning ahead, being nimble, and never giving up on being relevant in a dynamic economy may be discovered within the rubble of Kodak's collapse. One of the trailblazers in the photographic business, Kodak, was founded by George Eastman in 1888. The company significantly brought photography to a wider audience and popularized it. The Kodak company introduced the camera in 1888, and this was a game-changer for the firm since it was one of the first consumer-level handheld cameras. The entity substituted the bulky and complex glass plates used in older cameras with roll film, which completely transformed photography. Kodak dominated the photographic business and became a household brand over time. Customers may purchase Kodak cameras, film rolls, and development and printing services as part of a whole ecosystem. In addition to moving picture films and imaging equipment, they also branched out into medical imaging and other subsets of the photographic industry. They were most dominant in the U.S. film and camera markets during the 1970s and 1980s, when they controlled around 90% of the former and 85% of the latter. Back then, Kodak was a household name all over the world and a Fortune 500 powerhouse. The razor blade technique, which allowed Kodak to profit by selling cheap cameras while simultaneously selling film and paper, was the foundation of their successful business model. Strong emotional connection, the company's advertising efforts, such as Kodak Moments, succeeded in making customers feel connected to the brand and the idea of taking pictures of special moments. Turning point. Even though they were initially successful, Kodak's leadership failed to predict how digital photography would revolutionize the industry. Stephen Sasson, an engineer at Kodak, created the first digital camera in 1975. Despite the innovative nature of digital photography, Kodak's upper management failed to see how it may threaten their film-based company model. The fact that they depended on movie sales for a large chunk of their income and earnings was a significant roadblock to their adaptability. At first, Kodak wrote off digital cameras as a niche industry that couldn't compete with the quality of their film-based products when they first emerged in the 1990s. They were ignorant of how quickly digital photography was developing, leading to improvements that would overtake film quality in due time. The ignorance was a settlement of overconfidence at Kodak in the encounter of the appeal of film photography, leading to missed opportunities. Their failure to anticipate the impact of digital images on customer behavior and the company's overall strategy was another critical error. Unlike film photography, which required the purchase and development of film rolls, digital photography enabled users to save and exchange photographs electronically, doing away with the necessity for physical prints. A key factor influencing Kodak's digital camera market position was its unwillingness to adopt digital photography. Companies like Canon, Sony, and Nikon were faster to adapt and improve, so they faced fierce competition when they ultimately joined the digital camera industry. Downfall. Traditional film saw an abrupt decrease in demand as high-quality digital cameras and cell phones became the norm. There were massive layoffs and financial problems at Kodak because of the steep fall in film sales. Chapter 11 bankruptcy protection was sought by the firm in 2012. Kodak lost its once dominant position in the photographic business due to its inability to adapt fast enough to the digital revolution despite its efforts to reinvent itself and concentrate on new technologies. Many observers ought to presume that Kodak should have chosen diversification as the prior approach to the falling apart. The fact is that Kodak did diversify, they kept concentrating on hearing their customers and trying to build on their strengths, but unfortunately, that could not save them from the face of disruptive innovation. The predicaments Kodak faced were far from being eccentric. The necessary approach was to avoid abandoning legacy assets into new progress and adaptations. Unfortunately, in the late 1920s, Eastman was diagnosed with a progressive and irreversible spinal disease, and on March 14, 1932, he ended his own life. In a note to friends, he wrote, "My work is done. Why wait? What we can learn from the downfall." Companies may learn several important lessons from Kodak's success and failure in today's dynamic and unpredictable business environment. It is far harder to point out exactly what Kodak would have done to steer clear of their fate, but there are some important things that other companies may learn from Kodak's journey, which are: keep an eye out for game-changing technology. The failure to foresee the revolutionary potential of digital photography was the beginning of Kodak's demise. To stay ahead of the competition, businesses must monitor market trends and new technology. Spending money on R&D, maintaining relationships in the IT community, and being receptive to new ideas are all vital. Companies must adopt digital transformation strategies and integrate technology into their business models to stay competitive. Kodak lost market leadership because it was slow to embrace digital photography and fully use digital cameras. Companies in the modern digital era need to be flexible enough to change their goods, services, and procedures to suit customers' demands and satisfaction. To motivate workers to try out new things and take smart risks, it's important to establish a culture of innovation in the workplace. The inability to branch out and broaden Kodak's services was a result of the company's corporate culture's fixation on film-based photography. Promote teamwork across departments. Let people try new things, and recognize and reward creative problem-solving. Trend projection and certainty. Your company has to be tempted to forecast the future based on internal and external changes. For Sony, Nikon, and Canon, the emergence of digitalized filming was a chance to alternate operations as opposed to Kodak's point of view. This came as a threat, as a company may project a steady development in revenue based on past trends without considering a regulatory change. Prioritize your customers. Your company strategy should always revolve around the client. Get to know their likes, dislikes, and problems. Kodak's demise was partly hastened by the company's inability to foresee how digital photography would alter consumer tastes and habits. Keep up with the ever-changing demands of your consumers by conducting frequent surveys, feedback methods, and user research. The Kodak experience is a strong lesson for companies about the value of being flexible, creative, and ahead of the curve. Positioning oneself for sustained success in an ever-changing corporate environment requires identifying disruptive technologies, embracing digital transformation, encouraging innovation, diversifying income sources, being customer-centric, being adaptable, and preparing for the long term. Companies may prosper and avoid disaster by actively absorbing and using the lessons learned from Kodak's blunders. Finally, companies in all sectors may learn a lesson from Kodak's rise to domination and fall from grace. It stresses the significance of being flexible, creative, and ahead of the curve while dealing with the dynamic nature of business. Despite its legendary pedigree and groundbreaking inventions, Kodak met its demise because it was slow to adapt to the digital revolution and stick to its old business ways. The lessons learned from Kodak's downfall still apply to companies today, since they show how important it is to be quick to respond, innovative, and adaptable to survive and succeed in the global marketplace. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe for more.